Hi, Professor. This is Danielle Kendrick, and this is my persuasive speech. And here is my audience. Every college student accrues student loan debt, unless you're really wealthy, or, well, even in the case of being extremely poor, the government still doesn't pay for your entire education. As of right now, and last year as well, the student loan interest rate was 3.4%. The government is currently talking about raising that loan rate to 6.8% and talking about standardized Stafford loans. These are loans that the government pays the interest on until you graduate. So the student is able to go to school without a time frame, take out these loans, and pay back the interest and the loan upon graduation. Now, the thing is, the Senate has already decided that it's a good idea to keep these lowered. The Congress is still working on making a decision. As of right now, the United States government is paying over $1 trillion. The student loan debt is topping out at that much. So many people are flocking to school because of the uncertain times we're having right now. Jobs aren't there, so people are going to work, or they're going to school, excuse me. According to the Huffington Post, consumer advocates cite mounting tuition bills and an uncertain job market, argue that this is not the time to allow borrowing costs to soar. Right now, the way the loans are is you can take a student loan for your undergraduate degree. You can take a loan every year but cannot exceed $23,000. But there's no time frame. If they pass this, what happens is the time frame is changed from an unlimited time frame to 6 years. The student cannot attend school and receive loans over 6 years. They'll also be paying it at a 6.8% interest rate, which will add another $1,000 to each loan. I personally, right now, have about $8,000 in student loan debt. The government also gives me the Pell Grant, but every year that I make more money, I lose more money, in hindsight, for the loans. Like when I enrolled for my bachelor's program, my loan amount was less, but they offered me an unsubsidized loan, which is already at the 6.8% interest rate, and you're paying on that while you're in school. The student loans are costing our government a lot of money, but the current rate is it's better for us. People are going to actually graduate. They're going to finish school. They're going to do what they need to do. On the other hand, you also have private universities who are charging about $50,000 a year. So that's like, say, going to a prestigious university, like going to the University of Florida, and then you have state-run schools like FSCJ that charge about $15,000 a year. So you're looking at, if you're going to a prestigious school, $200,000 in student loan debt by the time you graduate with your undergraduate, versus in a public university, which will cost you about $60,000. With the way the economy is currently going, nobody is going to be able to afford that when they walk out of school. Most people are leaving school and making $30,000 a year because people just aren't paying what they have in the past. I honestly, personally think that the government should base these loan rates on like your attendance or your time in school or your GPA, like they do with the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant, you lose it if you go below a C average, so you can't get that funding. It's difficult to say. At the same time, it's costing the government a lot of money to put all these people in school, but at the same time, if you're ballooning these interest rates, when these people get out of school, they're not going to be able to afford to pay for a house. They're not going to be able to buy a car. They're barely going to they're going to work and pay their student loan debt. I believe it was my boyfriend's aunt. She just paid off her student loan debt, and she's been a teacher for 39 years. I mean, and that's absurd. Nobody should have to have that much debt to be educated. And that's the whole point I'm getting at, is that the government needs to consider this and look at it and think about it before making this decision. Thank you.
And the cat.
Yeah.